we're all back at Card Reads by Annie. I want to thank you for tuning in again. I have an email question on the go here. This is a question from Jennifer in Ottawa. And Jennifer asks, will I ever get married? That's quite a common question, Jennifer. And you know, I once said I'll never get married again. I will never do a permanent relationship again. Never say never. It is pretty much that simple. Okay. Let's have a peek at what this says. It says to have faith, okay? It really does seem to have faith, and I'm sorry again if I overstep. I tend to do that, but normally it's what you guys pay me for. Today you volunteered for it, so blunt it is. It does seem to me like your last long-term relationship, perhaps we went into it a little bit too young and it was kind of chaotic. But it is actually coming up here to have faith. What you want, which is your question, will I ever get married? It is saying have patience and faith. Yes, you will actually get married. Oh, and look, happens to be a man that shows up and a decision. And we definitely, he may be a little bit on the gun shy part though. That doesn't mean that the partner may not be committed. It just simply means that this little piece of paper could scare us a little bit. But you know, at some point it does get to that point where I do tend to think he decides to do so. And it does show here that this is a discussion that we can certainly have within the next 13 to 14 months. Do I see romance and something up on the screen at a stadium in your area? No. It might come out more as a discussion, okay? I'm not going to tell you how romantic our proposal was because he's sitting right here and I'll hear about it later. But one day I will tell you all about it. Okay, so as far as that goes, yes, Jennifer, you will get married. However, aren't we better to be patient than rushing into it anyways? I used to be a marriage commissioner when I lived in Manitoba, a job I miss very much, and that's one of the things that we used to have to counsel a lot. Make sure you're ready before you jump in, because it's always easier to jump in than it is to jump out. Okay, so my girl, yes, you will get married, and I hope that answers your question, and we will talk to you again soon. So we're going to go right on to the very next question. I think we have time, eh, Bruce? That's a very long one. I better not. Okay, this one comes to us all the way from, sorry, I'm learning technology and I'm trying. This one comes to us all the way from Sweden. Not that my relatives would have anything to do with that, but seeing as we're email, it really doesn't matter where. So first of all, Ami, I want to thank you for getting my Facebook page up and running all through Messenger. Not once did we speak on the phone. I couldn't thank you enough for what you have taught me the last 6 months. However, Ami asks, am I meeting my soulmate this year? Let's find out. So Ami is my cousin. I haven't seen her since 2000, and one of these days we are going to get back over that pond and say hello. Okay, seems like we're focusing a little bit too much on work. So my question to you is, are you going to meet a client as a soulmate? Probably not, okay? So in other words, you have to step out of your norm a little bit, and you have to step away from work a little bit, okay? You're kind of a little bit of a homebody, and it is showing here that work is getting better and better and better, and you know, you're phenomenal with computers, so I mean, it's just a matter of time before that booms. However, if you're going to work 12 to 14 hours a day, when are you going to have playtime to actually go meet the soulmate? So unless you expect to meet the meter man or the pizza man, you have to actually step out of your home and do stuff that's not always with family. In other words, start taking trips with girlfriends, friends to go to festivals, go to harbor festivals. You got ocean all the way around you within minutes to hours drive. So what it's showing here is you have to step out of your norm. I don't hear the clicking of a computer, which usually signifies we're going to meet somebody on a dating site or online. So in other words, I do tend to think you're going to meet somebody in person, but it's a conversation that comes up suddenly, and you may find them a little bit chaotic to talk to, but I think that's more nerves coming in, because when we're attracted to somebody, sometimes we can't be a, say, smart ass. Sorry, Tommy, can I say that? We can't be a smart ass, as we would be with, say, people that we're very comfortable with. Okay, so yes, could you meet your soulmate this year? Only if you get out a little bit more this year. Also seems to me you have some male friends that seem to have male friends that are a little bit single, but we haven't quite put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4 yet. So that is also coming. So I want you to keep an eye on that. Wouldn't it be phenomenal if you met your soulmate in Canada when you come for a visit next year? That would absolutely be great, because then you just have to simply move here. So, Ami, I hope that answers your question. And I'm going to wrap up our question, and I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about how you can be a part of my show. You can be a part of my show simply by emailing me. It'll show up at the end of the show. Tommy is really wonderful at making sure you know how. cardreadsbyannie@gmail.com. You can be a guest in person and ask a question. You can be a guest by telephone, as you've heard, even though I'm a little, technologically behind, or you can do an email question. As you also know, that can be done from anywhere in the world as long as I understand your language. So in other words, Swedish and English only. However, you can also be a part of the show by giving us ideas. I would love to hear them. Send me an email by all means. Speaking of emails, you should know that the emails come directly to me. They don't go to Shaw. They don't go anywhere else. We don't sell your email address. In fact, we'll be lucky if I can find the return address to send you a note back. Okay, that's how dumb I am with emails. You also don't have to use your real name if you're doing it by the telephone or email. Some people, when we're in a small town, don't always like the idea of letting us know who we are. Let's say we have a name like Penelope and we live in a town of 200 people. Chances are we're going to know who Penelope is. You can also be a part of the show, especially here in Dryden. Let's say you work at or attend a senior center. We would love to come in with the cameras and the cards one day and just randomly read your cards. It'd be a lot of fun. It'd be great to get your feedback at the same time. Or perhaps do you own a business here in Dryden or in the surrounding area and you would like us to come in and bombard your customers a little bit? We'd have fun with that. I have no problems chasing you down the street with the camera. So there's a lot of different ways that you can be a part of the show. And last but not least on being part of the show, you can certainly do so by giving us suggestions and comments. If there's stuff that you don't like about the show or there's stuff that you do like about the show, sorry, Oliver's still not going to take over more of the show as I've been asked, but we certainly do welcome all your comments and suggestions, and by all means, you see me on the street, you can ask me right there and then, or you can just go ahead and give me your suggestions then. So I am going to take a little bit of a break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about how to relax a little bit out of the norm.